now, now, I'd like to just for a second put things into perspective for you because you all seem to think that Russia is a big threat, and the actual truth of the matter is they are not that big of a concern. Is the actual truth of the matter. They aren't that big of a concern, and they know it. So there's not much that they can do but act as if though to be threatening. That's the most they can do. They don't have that kind of technology. They don't really have much of anything. Now, China, on the other hand, is a different story. But as far as Russia goes, it's not a lot there. So if you wonder why China and Russia are working together like this, because Russia knows that they need a little bit of help here and there from China. Because Russia alone can't really do much. So here's the problem. Here's the problem. You want to see? You want to know? Here's the problem. Here's the problem. So you all think that you are I'm trying to explain to you like okay, let's not even look at it that way because y'all are trying to be democratic and you don't know how to do it yet. So let me teach you a little bit about it, just a little bit. But let's go to America and look at it for a little bit. And America is a pretty big continent. This is pretty big. This massive piece of land there. And in America, we have a president that leads the country. But because we have a democracy, he doesn't really get to do much of anything. He can't actually do shit because we have all of these states, and in every state there is a senate, a governor, a mayor, a city council. They have all of these lawyers, they have all of their citizens that have to come to a single decision. And then all of these states under different ruling get to make their decisions for their own state, and the president can't really get involved in any of that. The president really is only there to deal with uh, world affairs on behalf of the country. That's it. And it's because these other states are too busy. They have shit to do, you know. They don't have that kind of time. So we have a so we so they let the president deal with that kind of shit. They don't have the time that they have to deal with what they're dealing with in their state. So, and this is America. This is a big piece of land. This is a big continent. So you have to take this into mind Take this all into consideration when you're dealing with a democracy and when you're dealing with a continent. So when you speak about America, this is what you're dealing with. And so when you go to China, these places are massive continents. China, Russia. We're talking about Russia right now. Russia is a massive continent in Asia, right there. So when you start thinking in your head that you are in charge of this massive thing here, which is absurd, you're not in charge of all that. It's just called Russia. I don't think you understand. It's just called Russia. You are not in charge of everything there. It just happened to be called Russia, the continent there. It's like, anyway, you're never going to see that shit happen. But it's just called Russia. So, but when you start thinking like this is when you run into issues, run into these kind of issues. Any leader that thinks like that is going to run into a lot of issues. They're going to do a lot of stupid shit that doesn't make much sense. Don't make any sense to do that. So it doesn't make a lot of sense in a lot of different ways that I won't even begin to explain. But hey, you're that mentality is causing a lot of disturbance for you, and it only ends in you trying to uh, do stupid shit like attack Ukraine. It only ends in that kind of thing. So I don't know exactly what how the system works in Russia, but it's supposed to be a democracy. And I'm just explaining to you a little bit how it works, a democracy, because then you realize you don't even have you couldn't even do what you did. That's what I'm trying to explain. You couldn't even do what you did in America. America can't even just go to war like that. They can't even do that shit. You would need every state, all the senators to go into a vote and then decide. They can't President can't go into a war just like that unless we've been attacked or something, unless somebody attacked us or some shit like that. Then they could galvanize, and then they'll still need to do the vote and all that kind of stuff. So this is a big difference. So I don't know, but this is the only way you can run a continent as big as America is in a democracy. This is the only way that that could work. It doesn't. You cannot lead something that big as Russia is or that China is. One person can't do that. We have done it. So you're watching America do it. We have done it because of democracy. We have done it. Before, the way they did it was through another means, which never it didn't work. People tried to do that and it did not work. So this is the solution that we came up with for that democracy, because that shit doesn't work. All right.